And here we go. What's up? Let me take this out of my mouth. Excuse me. Yes, I've been chewing. I've been chewing. Dipping. Started that. Man, what a bad habit. Haven't done tobacco in 100 years and started dipping here a couple months ago. So how you guys doing? 100 years. Oh, shit. Started dipping here a couple months ago. So okay. Damn, how'd that come on? So anyway, how you guys doing? It's been a minute. I was just checking to see how long it's been since I did my last video. And I remember that what I said was that I wasn't gonna try to come back on until I had a set schedule. And that was the truth. What I meant by set schedule had everything to do with employment. I've got a job that I really like. I've had it for like 4 weeks now, but that really wasn't the reason. I mean, I've got a set schedule and the shift and all that because I was trying to figure out what time of day that I start doing my lives or videos or whatever, because I wanted to release videos at the same time every week, every day, whatever it was going to be, 3 days a week in one live or 2 videos a week in one live. That's how I had it planned. Of course, circumstances in my life changed that once again. And what I mean by that is I had a place that I was doing my YouTube, and I couldn't do it there. So I came back down to my place in Hartford to do it. So let me back up here a few minutes or a minute or so. So well, I'm like really nervous today too. I swear to God, I think it's because I was compelled to actually do a live based on the Goof Troop. Goof Troop. So who's the Goof Troop? Lee Amber Alert, Victoria Gotti's sister, aka the other Gotti, and Father James. I think I'll call James. So I guess the last 4 or 5 days, I got somebody contacted me and said that Lee, Amber Alert, and Victoria's sister have been saying I'm going back to jail. Now, this is where that came from. James Proctor, who is Amber Alert's sidekick on that show, gets alerts from it's Pacer, I think. Pacer or one of the legal directories, and they got an alert saying that I've been summoned back to court. And it's true, 100%. And I'll address that in a minute. So I actually was going to do something the day of or after, whatever the deal was, but I wasn't going to do it right now because I haven't gone to court yet. Wife, a few reasons, but earlier today I started thinking about it. I'm just like, I'm going to do this now. So, but I'm going to back up first. So there's a video I did when I think it was July or August, and this was shortly after I got out of jail the last time for a supervised release revocation. And what is the truth about my life today or something? That video, stand behind, could have said some things a little bit differently, but all in all, I stand behind it. And if anybody wants to know what led up to where I am today, I think that would be the good place to start. So in on September the 16th, just a couple months ago, I made a decision to go back to rehab. Now, I know that might tick off some government officials because they were involved, but it went like this. 3 weeks prior to that, I think it was like right at the end of August, my probation officer and one of the other probation officers came down to this house. And on my wall in one of the rooms was my certificates from the Harbor House, the rehab, and chips, like from going to NA&A meetings. And they were on my wall, and I was proud of those. Of course, I'd relapsed by then, but he pointed to it and he said something to the effect, wouldn't it be nice if you can get back to that? Or I forgot how he worded it. But that day when he left, I actually made a call to the Harbor House, which is the rehab up here, and had a bed for it was like 3 weeks out. So, okay. So then So obviously, if I'm heading back to rehab, I've got substance abuse or alcohol issues because alcohol is also a violation of supervised release. So I got to watch my words on certain things. That's why I'm hesitant. Uh, Long story short, my insurance was going to pay for so much of it, but probation got involved because of failed drug test. Was that the one? They got involved, okay, and they paid for me to go back. So probation is now part of this. So I just want to be clear about that because I did I did request a bed space, but they can get you in like that. As a matter of fact, it got me in 24 hours later or 48 hours later. And at the time, I was like pretty stoked because I had my bills paid for a couple months. It was like a good thing, and I wanted to stay in transitional living in Fort Smith, which I did. Um, Transitional living is, outpatient. You do 28 days in, and then you go to transitional living. You can stay for like up to 18 months. At the time, I know that probation wanted me to stay like 90 days. I didn't have a set time and was thinking more like a year. Plus, based on my personal relationship, my wife lived right down, not too far from there, so it was kind of it was good. Um, when I went back to the Harbor House this time, I'm going to tell you something. Uh, I had two really good counselors, and it was freaking awesome. I did such a deep dive. They did such a deep dive on me, and I really learned a lot about myself. I mean, just phenomenal. I couldn't ask for anything better. I then went to transitional living, and there's two things here's what starts happening when a person goes to rehab. The problems they had when they went in don't go away. Okay, that's one of the things. And this is just stuff that I've been really trying to look inside myself and think about lately. Um, Financial stress and marital stress. Okay, those were the two issues. One of them was working itself out pretty good. Baby steps, marriage stuff. I'm not going to get into that relationship, but going pretty good. Baby steps, getting along. Financial was not, and then I started getting underwater. And then let me tell you something: a job. So you have to have a job to live in transitional living, and it's a requirement of my probation to have a job for at least 30 hours a week. Okay. So, which by the way, I asked the judge to make a stipulation on that. Um, I wanted that. I asked for stipulations the last time I was there. Um, my attorney said, "You asked for it. You asked for this." So that was what she said the other day. Anyway, um, I couldn't get a job. Chicken plant. There's jobs everywhere. Let me tell you something. If you want to work, I don't care if you're 100 or 15 or 16, whatever age, you can work. Fort Smith's got plenty of jobs. Okay. Um, I did literally everything that I thought I possibly could. And this is what I mean by that. First of all, this technology age, applications are online. So I had to go to Indeed, right? So when you go to Indeed, I don't know if you guys know this, but you get 100 spam calls a day. It's a nightmare. All your emails, text, it's a freaking nightmare. Well, I did apply for jobs online, but the first one I went to was actually called Simmons. It's a chicken plant up in Fort Smith, and everybody gets hired on this. They didn't hire me, and I went in actually to the center where they hire you, and the guys that I went with, two of them got a job like the next day. So I really didn't understand or know. Anyway, I started filling out all these online applications. I say 48, but I just found more. So there was over 60 jobs that I applied for. Okay. There's also a place called Tech where you go into the tech centers and they get you a job and all that stuff. Well, the tech building was actually right down from the Harbor House where I was living, the transitional living house. And I went there six times, and it was closed, or so I thought. Um, I would later discover that I was going to the wrong building, and right next door was the one I was supposed to be going to. And that I got my job the same day, actually. And they were going to put me on with the company here no later than March, but I don't think that's going to happen now. So anyway, um, I was having a lot of difficulties with the job situation, And one of the things was there are two people in my life um, that have the best interest in heart for me and care about me, but they're also my two biggest triggers. I'm not going to name them. And those two people did not believe I was doing enough to try to find to get work. And that's really where relapse started for me. So relapse isn't the act of using, that's lapse. Um, yeah, that's how they started lapse. But I realize now that's when my thinking was off, but I was still going to one or two meetings a day. And let me tell you something, the whole AANA thing, I'm a believer in it. And I'll bring something up about that soon. But I like it. I like the meetings. I really really like it. Right. But in order for that to work, everything else has to be balanced out. That's just for me, and it hasn't been. But so um, I was in the Harbor House. What almost two? No, I think 2 months in transitional. And one of the things was you have to pay weekly. I had no money, like literally no money. My mom, a friend, a sister, there's different people that covered that. My wife, different people covered the weekly payments for a minute. When I got my job, I was a week behind rent, and I also get off at three after 3:30 in the morning. Okay, so each house has a different curfew policy. There's rules are out the window. It's like the BOP. There's all these rules, but nobody goes by them. I mean, and I'm talking about staff, whatever. So in my house, it was you had to be home by 12 o'clock midnight. So really, you could actually leave at 12:01. I mean that's true. And one time I did. Um, uh, I came in at 10, and I thought that well, I went to my wife's and for a reason. And anyway, my the house manager had no problem with it. I told him about it. He had no problem with it. A couple days later, one of my roommates, the first roommate, was there for. He just got out of prison. He was out like 2 years. He wanted to have sex. That's what. Not with me. Go get a girl. It's like so. He went out and found somebody, and needless to say, relapsed. So when that happened, my house manager changed curfew from 12:30. Got to be in at 12:30 every night, morning, whatever, 3 o'clock. So you have to be in that place for 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. If you work second and third shift, there is no time frame. Okay. That was his policy. So the first 2 days I came home at 4 o'clock, I'm like dead tired because I'm on my feet for 12 hours. Okay. It's factory. And I really like it. I mean, it's good for this part of my life. Okay. So I came home, and as soon as I got home, took a shower and everything, I woke up. So now I'm like, the sleeping pattern, it was crazy. That was the first 2 days. Well, on the third day, I decided to stay up. So then I would go to down here where I had emptied out the house. This house was for sale. 12 people total looked at it. The bank was going to take it and then give me 5,000. I got over $44,000 of equity into this house. And I was going to do it. It was part of my rehabilitation plan because everybody believes, and I say everybody, probation, my wife, counselors too, because I talk about it, believe that this place down here was bad for me. It's in the country, it gets lonely. This was my stomping grounds. I've done dirt down here. That's the truth. But it's not the place. It's not the place. It's not the house. But anyway, I was going for it, did everything. I mean, I was all in. I went to the bank. I did not want to give it to them outright and just say take over payment. I wanted at least 5 grand, and that wasn't shit. Um, at the last minute, the bank canceled and said they couldn't do it. So I was still going to, and then I found out that I didn't have a place to do my YouTube stuff up there in the house that I was living in. I could not, and well, there's people that noticed it. So at my wife and I's house up in Fort Smith, which was both ours. I talked about this before too. Before December, no, it was before March of 23. I had moved in and out of that house 15 times. Some of it, most of it under the influence. Okay. Um, and that's it's not, it wasn't just, it was opiates, meth, alcohol, whatever it was, 15 times. So bringing my stuff there has become an issue because it's you can imagine the trauma of you coming home and everybody and your spouse or every person you're living with stuff's gone like 15 times, right? So I couldn't bring my stuff back to that house. And I understand the reason. I didn't have a problem with it. But the problem was I didn't have another place to put it. That was the day I decided that I was going to come back down here and I was going to work it out and I was going to make this work like I really want inside. I don't want to lose $44,000 equity on a house that you can't sell shit right now. So started back down here. So after work, I would come and start moving stuff that I had in the barns out back in the house to kind of get it to where at times I can come down and stay, but I can get the studio set up. And what I mean by that is the back room is painted completely white. Marta had done that before, and I was going over it, and I was going to put convict decals up on it. It's going to revamp, make the whole studio, right? And matter of fact, I'm in the process of it. I just haven't got the decals and stuff yet. So the delay on me coming back has not been about problems per se in my life. It's been more life getting in the way. Now I say 12-hour shifts. We're supposed to work 5 days, 12-hour shifts. That starts really after February because I haven't got a full weekend, but that's because of different issues, holidays, all that. Okay, so when was it? Hold on, I'll tell you guys right now. Hold on. So this is in my hand is a summons for a criminal complaint, violation report. By the way, the goof troop would blow me for this. They're waiting on this. They're actually waiting on this on the January 10th because right now this is sealed. So if you go and find out that I'm going to court, this is all sealed. This is what they've been salivating and waiting on, right? This is what James did last time when I went to court, read them all. So I have them in my hand, okay? So sets out the condition. Okay, positive. Okay, so August the 1st. That was when I was down here before rehab. Okay, this is the first violation. Dirty. Amphetamine. It says amphetamine and meth. Was that the atom? No, that was a meth and alcohol, whatever. So there are a total of violations, by the way, right now, 8. And as a matter of fact, there's 1 or 2 more coming. Said my probation officer, but at this point, it doesn't matter. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was the last one. Okay. So the first one after is so November the 5th. That's not right. Should have been November. It was in November. I went to rehab. So 2 months. So 60 days. I made it out 60 days. And is that right? I'm just looking at this now. Yeah. Okay, so 60 days and popped 30. And then I can't get into the specifics of these because these are for court. But anyway, James will have them and he'll be reading them and going, oh my God, I can't believe it. They've done everything for him. How can somebody screw that life? I can hear it already. And this is what I have to say about substance abuse disorder. By the way, these are all except for I got another violation. So one of them was a hot check. In March, I wrote a $10 check for medical supplies, for pills, because my insurance didn't cover all of it. And that check ended up going into a hot check, and I don't know how or why, but I ended up having $100 bench warrant for it. So that's on here. Okay. Yeah, that was at the active warrant, which is not, I mean, it's all something. So admitting to using when you see these, when these are actually posted, and I guess I can actually post them on my community page. Well, you'll see that there's a couple things that are weird. I can't address that right now. So if you go back to the video that I did, truth about my life, whatever. I was very clear about what would happen if I went back in front of the judge for even one dirty urine or one bear. I'd get violated. And I'm here to tell you today that I'm going to get violated. I am going to end up back in prison shortly. I did believe that it was going to be a little longer, and that's where my cancer comes in. So if you guys saw the short that I did, I came out of the urologist, and I was pretty shocked. And the reason was is the last time I went in for a cancer check, I was confident that my tumor was back. Just based on the way were growing down there. Usually I can tell. Well, this time there wasn't that type of problems, and this sometimes stopping and starting flow of urine. There's different issues. And and then the urologist says he has the speech about wanting to take my bladder out. Taking my bladder out, there's a really good chance that I'll be impotent. Okay. So imagine turning 54. I'm 54. Didn't have sex for 24 years almost. Have a wife looks like mine. We've had problems. And then they're telling me that I should take my bladder out. I don't want to hear that kind of talk. It's like blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But I think he spotted one tumor. He said it was brand new. The problem is that my last time that I had a cancer reoccurrence, my tumors were flat, which means they went inward. All my tumors, all my 22 reoccurrences that I've had were all superficial. This went into my bladder wall. So the roots touched, which they can travel and kill you pretty quick. For sure, they want your bladder out at that point. So he immediately scheduled so this was November the 30th or something. He immediately scheduled an appointment for me for December the 10th. On December the 10th, this last December, I was supposed to have a tumor removed, my tumors removed. Well, prior to December 10th, so this summons is actually for December the 1st. So I got served by the marshals on December the 1st. So I've known since December the 1st, I was going back to court. The judge, I was told, was not happy, which I'm aware, I'm sure. And they were going to give me a warrant and have me hauled in or summons. I believe, and I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth, I believe that he was letting me stay out, A, because the docket sheet was full, and B, because of the bladder cancer, to get it taken care of. Well, on December the 8th, I get a call, and was it December the 8th? I got the papers right here. My appointment was canceled because the cardiologist wouldn't clear me because he hadn't had a stress test in a year or two, whatever it was. And of course, they want their money. And I do have heart issues for sure. Yeah, so I've got rhythm issues. I've had all my life. So, and by the way, alcohol and drugs straighten it out. It's fucking insane. It's insane. But anyway, and I don't know why I threw that in there, but it's true. I had the stress test, which was another pain in the. So they scheduled me for a stress test. I went, and what happened that day, I had a drug test, which I passed. And the problem is you can't drink any liquids after midnight. And I had a 3 o'clock appointment. So for the drug test, I had to consume water or Gatorade, whatever I was drinking that day. And then when I went in and they're doing the chemical, not the one we get on the treadmill, the chemical, and they induce you so your heart starts speeding up. They wouldn't do the test. After they got the chemicals in me, they realized that I had taken liquids and they canceled it because I had a drug test earlier. So they put it off another week. Now, usually you get the results within 2 days. Because of the holidays, and Dr. Schwartz, which is my cardiologist, is off for 2 to 3 weeks. They can't clear me because they can't read the results. So now I go to court January the 10th, and I don't even have another surgery date as of right now. A probation officer at some time was, I'm not going to say lead me to believe, but it appeared that I would have the cancer removed before I went to jail. My attorney doesn't think that way. Nobody knows what the judge is going to do, and I'm not trying to put words or in anybody's mouth. Well, I can say what my attorney. She said, "Be ready Wednesday to go to jail." That threw me for a loop because this happened on Thursday. So Thursday, I actually had to miss work uh, for a Zoom call that I had with her because she's going on vacation and my court date's next week, and we had to discuss things. Well, she had to tell me anyway. So okay, this is what happens. So if I'm incarcerated on Wednesday, which I believe I will be, um, the cancer appointment down here is out the window. They will not bring me from that county because it's a different county down here to my doctor's. What they say they will do, and this happened last time, is in that jail, which is the Washington County Jail, like most jails, medical care is lacking. The last time I was in there, I had the marshals. I thought that I had a tumor for sure because I was having symptoms of one, and I was behind on my bladder appointment. They court said something. The magistrate, my lawyer got involved. The marshal got involved. Everybody said it was taken care of. The jail said they had no idea what anybody was talking about. My lawyer just told me she had a client, stage 4 cancer, up in the same jail for 8 months, never saw a doctor. So I'm not under any illusion that if I go in, I'm going to see a bladder specialist. The Bureau of Prisons, I'll be sent back to, assuming that I'm violated. I don't want to put words, but this is what I based off of this. I'll tell you what I'm basing this off of. This is a transcript of my last hearing, okay? And these were the judge's words. Okay, I will oppose additional time. Okay, so last time, here's what happened. The judge actually gave me, he went above the guidelines. So the guidelines, I think in this case, are 8 to 14 months, maybe, but they can do whatever they want. Judge can do whatever he wants. I think up to 5 years. So I've got 3 years supervised release. That would be the max, but I think he can actually go to 5 years, to be honest. And I'm looking and I'm anticipating the top end, to be honest. So in this case, the Bureau of Prisons, when I got let out, the judge didn't let me out on compassionate release. He reduced my sentence to 25 years based on an intervening change in the law. Um, and I had 649 days good time credit vested. That means if I go back to the Bureau of Prisons, if I had a year sentence, I was out the next day. If I had a 2-year sentence or 600, whatever it is. So he gave me all that time plus the time in the county jail. So I actually had a pretty big sentence on time that I actually served before. So that's what happened on that case. This time he made clear, and I'm gonna tell you, the guy did that. The judge was really diligent. He did his due diligence in this case. It was a long hearing this last time. This one won't be so long. Upward variance, yeah, a large upward variance is what he says. I will impose an additional sentence. Da, da, da. And Mr. Rosso, okay, this is what he says. And time will tell about whether Mr. Rosso is capable of making and bringing real change, or whether he will return to the pattern of using and violating the conditions of his supervised release. Because that's what everybody wants to do. They want to violate and keep using drugs. Okay. So, and Mr. Rosso, if that's the course that you end up taking, I think you understand me. I do. This is him. What the sentence will be the next time you are found in violation. I do. That's what I said. And I think you understand the very low threshold of tolerance that the court would have. You're not going to reach number 10 next time. 10 dirties. To 10, whatever. So I do, Your Honor. So do we know how many days this is what he is? So I've read this transcript many times. I will read it many more times the next few days. So I'm anticipating going to prison for a while. Now, many of you guys know that that when I came out that I was involved or wanted to be involved in criminal justice reform. I was reading the judge's transcripts, and he kind of said that he didn't believe that was the case. That I was trying to act smarter. I forgot the exact words. Um, I was doing legal work, and they didn't believe me. I should show them the $37,500 receipts that I have, but I won't. I was actually doing it, and then after my dad died, I started deteriorating. That's when the really alcohol and drug things came on. And listen to me. Let me tell you guys something. I'm not a victim, um, and I'm not apologizing for being an addict. I am not apologizing to anybody for being an addict. Not the court, my probation officer, my mom, my wife. I'm not. So I want to be clear about that. Okay. We have a criminal justice system that is outdated, predated. And one of the things that I'm saying here and now is that I'm being sent back to prison. I'm going to be for being an addict. Some would disagree and say, no, you violated the terms and condition of supervised release. And I would say yes, because I'm an addict. That's not a crutch or an excuse. And I really want to say that. And let me tie this in. You know what? I told you guys I liked AA and NA, and I do. And let me tell you, when I got out of the Harbor House again this time, the counselors and stuff in there, they were pushing me to go into transitional, stay here, because they also had aspirations like I of being a counselor there. It's not something I'd want to do the rest of my life. But I can see me doing it there. I'm good with people, but I can't fix myself. I will say this real quick. The first time I came down to this house, when I got out of the Harbor House, I had to go in the yard and I had to cut the grass. That day, doing yard work was like a trigger. Man, I wanted to get high. Let me be clear. Um, my heart, as far as addiction, is opiates. Okay, that's feel good. Meth is so readily available that I can get meth quicker than I can get marijuana. That's a God's honest truth. And I live right next to Oklahoma, where pot's like legal, and everybody has. It's easier to get meth than that. I don't like the feeling of meth per se. When I do meth, it's to drink more. It's really, I'm an alcoholic first, and I really thought a lot about this because it's alcohol that I fuels, but the feeling I have to do mix it with other drugs to feel good. Okay. But if I'm gonna do yard work or construction, 100% fucking love it. Beast mode, ready to rock and roll. I mean, it's just that's the truth. So I came down here and I'm mowing my grass and I'm feeling flat because I'm not jacked up. And that includes being on Suboxone. So even using Suboxone would be something jacked up. Gets me high. Misusing it, I should say. But specifically, when I first started doing meth, when I got it, it was used like on Thursdays. It would be like if I was going to do 2 hits of a pipe, it was 3 hits, no more than 3 hits. I can't do more than 3 hits. And I would work. I would remodel. I would tear shit apart. Whatever. Typical tweaker shit, I guess you'd say. Um, but I liked it. Okay, so that let me be clear about that. Opiates, I'm focused, but I'm not. I don't have that, to do yard work. I mean, I've done it plenty of times, but it's the meth. Um, I came down here and I had terrible. It wasn't a pen. It was I wanted to get jacked up on speed so bad, even Adderall, and just rip the yard up, weed eat. Like I was like, yeah. Well, I actually stopped and used the tools that they gave me at the Harbor House. I like literally stopped. They call it dropping anchor. Thought, what am I feeling? Like went into it. 30 minutes, 30 minutes, and that feeling passed. About 30 minutes. And I was so proud that I beat that. I was. When something happens, a triggering event, um, that wouldn't be considered a triggering event. That was a desire, whatever. But when I get into an argument or something, that's what, and then I self-sabotage. It goes like that. And I can't control that at this point. And I'm tying it into AA and NA because they say when you read the big book, that there's some people that are constitutionally incapable of change. And I'm really starting to fear that. And I don't know if fear is even the right word. I'm starting to think that about myself because I can't get it right. And I'm not crying about it. I'm telling you. And I'm going to say this, my life is going better than it has since I've been out right this second, even having relapsed. Right now, my life is more in track than it has been. I've actually got a freaking job in a factory that they want to bump me up $5, almost $5. So, well, yeah, $5.25 next month. I'm like at 15 right now. And it's not like something I would do forever, but for the next extended few years till I get other things going, um, for sure. And I like the hours. I like that whole 3 o'clock. I love it. I like the drive. I love it. It's everything's. I still have my wife and we still can't. That's a long, long. We're not getting a divorce, but it's a long, long. And that whole thing kills my financial situation. I can't get ahead. Those are my key where I just lose it. That's the truth. And I'm going to say something else. Incarceration, being incarcerated does not bother me. I know that sounds sick to say. I know that's not good to say. I being incarcerated does not bother me. What bothers me is the thought of getting out. Um, I'm going to be at a place in my life where I've lost everything. I'm everything in here. Like, like I sat there and thought about it. When my attorney was adamant to be ready for going to jail on Wednesday, I looked around and I'm like, I don't have any place to put my stuff. Like I literally don't have. There's one. I've been talking to my family. There's one sister. We're not talking. I can't. I don't have a place to put my stuff. Like anything. When I walk out of here, I'm walking. I'm leaving. The bank will take this. Everything's gone. Can't talk right now, Mike. On the phone. So everything's gone, and so be it. I'm going to lose everything because I have substance abuse disorder. So be it. It is what it is. I can't apologize for it. I've tried. I do the best I can. I get back on track. Everything's going on track, but I violated my supervised release. So I have to pay the piper, right? Ooh, pay the piper. That was kind of like I don't mean like in a meth term, but I have to deal with it. So um, what else can I do? There's a part of me that's lost that's almost given up the fight. Meaning I used to like man, like certain things really charge me up, but I don't feel that anymore. Like it's, I don't know how to put it, you know? Um, I think what happened when I got released from prison with the life sentence, I felt like I reached like my pinnacle of success, so to speak. I got out of prison with a life sentence. This judge corrected an unjust sentence. He did, straight up. Prosecutor, when I was there the last time, told the court that I had an unjust sentence. I thanked him twice for it. And that was pretty big. But there's the part of me that's it's not about my judge or there's a part of me that's angry at the system because here we are, no new crimes, and I'm going to go back to jail for being a junkie. I don't care about using the term junkie. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go back because I can't get it right. As the judge said, if you don't correct this, I tried. Hell, I tried. I gave it my all, and that's all I can do. And right now, um, at the end of the transcript, the judge, I remember, and like I said, he's thorough. And this is going to be work making it worse, probably. But um, when your attorney tells you that you won't bring up certain things you want or bring in witnesses, or you just kind of say fuck. And I want to represent myself, and I'm going to make that, but they're going to deny me because it's not enough time. That's the truth. Okay, so making sure. Okay, so this is what Mr. Rosso, I want to see you succeed. This is my judge. And for sure, not yet. I can't. Not yet. I will. And I don't care if you're going to say stop. Don't do that to me. Okay. So real quick, uh, Mr. Rosso, I want to see you succeed. I knew Marta wants to see you succeed. Robert Rosso is the only thing standing in the way of being successful. And you have to figure out a way to get past your demons. Um, and I hope you can do that. And I hope that this is not, I hope that this is not our last conversation. I hope this is the last conversation in this setting, meaning violation. But he'd like to have conversations with me in the future. And I believe that. Mike, I will call you in just a second because I know you have a lot of the rehab stuff. So you're going to want to maybe come on and that will be good. Um, I tried. I can't apologize for being a junkie. I can't to nobody. And I'm not going to. And I'm not trying to be defiant. The system that we're still locking up people based on addiction, that's all, that's what it is. We're putting, I'm literally, I made poor choices starting after my dad died because of a family feud. And I made really bad choices. Gambling just destroyed me. Gambling freaking destroyed my life. No bullshit. And I've been hanging on to this house. So I'm going to be in a position where I've totally lost everything. And coming out of prison in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, in my mid to late 50s, man, it doesn't appeal to me like whatsoever. You know, it's not like I want to stay in, don't get me wrong, but it makes me think you're gonna lock me up and I'm gonna lose everything based on the fact that I have an addiction problem. I know that the court, not just this one, the courts or lawmakers, when they say, no, it's not because of your addiction, it's because you violated the terms and conditions of your supervised release. Apples and oranges, same thing. It's the same thing. Um, I remember talking to my PO on the phone after I got diagnosed with cancer again. And um, I just got out of the doctor. It takes about an hour, it takes about a half hour to an hour to really get my head wrapped around what this doctor, I want to call him a jackass, is tell me to take my bladder out, you know? And I'm not, I'd rather die. And I don't fear death whatsoever, by the way, not whatsoever. And I've been going back to church. Um, yeah, I had like so that's been a really positive thing in my life. Back going to mass, confession. But anyway, so I really had to, I was trying to decompress, trying to figure that out. And I called my PO or he called me, whatever, calls every other minute. So just joking, but and I remember telling him, and he's like, he made like, don't let that stop your job search or something. I lost. I was driving when I talked to him, which is a violation, I guess. But I had to pull over and I lost it. And I remember telling him, this is why people go back to prison. Like it was like they didn't believe I was doing enough to get a job. They didn't understand that when I went in for talked to 6 different people who said I had the job for sure. One of them at Taco Bell, and then I didn't have the job. It was so frustrating, so fucking frustrating. And to hear him say that, man, I lost it. I lost my freaking mind. And that day I was like, I don't give a fuck if I go back to prison. I mean, that I exploded because it's easier in there than it is out here, sadly for me. I don't say that proud. And yeah, it's sick. It's sick. I know. But it's again, and it's not like I want to go back. I do miss the person I was in there better. And I miss that person because I was more calm, cool, collective in my thinking. Yes, I used on and off at times, um, primarily Suboxone, but I maintained, I handled it. That's a whole nother issue that I just thought about. You know what? When I really got scrambled is when I was exposed. And what I mean by exposed is once I popped dirty, Actually, my first dirty, I really wasn't dirty for what I said, but an issue. When I popped dirty the first time, that was when like the heat was on. I was already in a situation with a family member who was accusing me of being on drugs wrongly because it was there was an issue, but I then became that person. I then became, and then of course the lie to my wife. So it was like I have always hidden drug use, or like in prison. If somebody knew, I wouldn't cop to them and tell them, yeah. Very few people. Since I've been out, if I'm using with somebody, I don't care what it is, or I can't say drinking, but it was like I won't tell A that I just got high with B. I won't. I don't tell people. Like I don't talk about it. I'm not constitutionally capable of saying that I'm on drugs. I mean, so on YouTube, I pride myself on being the most honest guy on YouTube and in the courtroom. And it's true. However, one can make an argument. Well, look at all these lies you told. How many people said you were high and this and that? Man, first of all, I was on probation. Second of all, I used to laugh because people would think I was on meth when I was on opiates. Opiate, it gave me some kind of vindication or just it made me satisfied. Fed an ego, whatever the deal was. So I used to laugh about that. Then I had my wife next to me who had no clue. It broke her heart when she found out. Um, so there's a lot of people that function with addiction. Chief Justice William Rehnquist, super junkie, super junkie, great guy, pillar of the community. He's a chief Supreme Court judge, strung the fuck out. He was fine. FBI following him around. And the reason I know more because some people think that's a conspiracy. I actually did time with the former FBI agent. I know more about that. Okay, so great guy, right? Supreme Court Justice, chief junkie. But when nobody would ever think that because he wasn't presented like that. And then there's a guy who's been in prison his whole life for drugs, comes out of prison. On the surface, it looks like I have the best support group in the world. And I'm not knocking, not even I had a wet dream. Okay. Money, property, beautiful freaking wife that you can't who's independent in her own right with the house in Spain, going to spend 6 months here, 6 months. Dream. Under the surface, it wasn't so dreamy. And I don't mean with my wife, I meant with my support network. Um, so, but let me be clear. That doesn't take away from I fucked it up. So I have to watch myself because when I say stuff like that, then I get accused of blaming, trying to act like a victim, blah blah blah, and that's not the point. The point is I was talking to my oldest sister about this tonight, and she's really upset right now with me. So I mean, and you know, many people are, and there's nothing I can say. I'm not. I'm not. How do you apologize? People think that I'm going to AA meetings. I'm having had the best AA meeting of my life, and then I pop fucking dirty later that night because I get in an argument. My counselor said it best. He said, Robert, you drink poison hoping the other person dies or trying to hurt the other person. He's 100% right. He's 100% right. First time I blew, it was over a fight argument. The second time I blew, oh God, it was my probation officer's condescending attitude. And I don't say that to put him down. He's a great guy. Honestly, cares, wants me to succeed. I get into it sparring, and that day I blew and said, and I do that. Like I don't care if there's a drug test in 10 minutes. If I blow, I'm good. Red, I see red, or white, or pink pills, or whatever you want to say. Sad. And you know what's crazy? Like I said, I did a deep dive in rehab, and I know where it comes from. I know so much more about myself because this last trip to rehab. It's amazing, like how I started using, what age, why, all of it. I mean, I've got it down. I know how to use certain tools I know how to do certain things that'll help me prevent from relapse. But when I'm triggered by a couple certain things, it's instant. And you also got to figure, um, uh, I think at some point when I'm clean, I also miss the comfort of sadness. Anybody know that Kurt Cobain song? Miss the comfort of sadness because people that are in addiction, especially when the addiction, when you're facing something like incarceration, marital problems, you get that self pity bullshit, and you do the sad songs. I like listening to Jelly Roll. All the songs talk to you. You know, I mean, really. I mean, for real. I like listening to them sober too, but you know what I'm saying? So there's that. And yeah. So look, and I can't reiterate, I want to just reiterate and say that it is I think that if my attorney on Thursday wouldn't have said some of the things that she did, meaning, what about this? This be prepared Wednesday. Okay. She would I probably wouldn't be doing this video right now. And it's almost like I've wanted to come on. I've stopped it because of my wife, stopped because of going to court first. And then, I hear that the goof troop is out there predicting stuff. And I know that Preacher James or Father, whatever, he's just waiting. They're waiting. So you can read this. Oh my God, they're just waiting. Yeah. And I wanted to get out ahead of that too. I even said something to a government official. They said I shouldn't advise against it. And thought that I was doing it for clicks or something to help their. Oh no, they were doing it for clicks. I forgot what he said, but it was wanting to get out in front of it. And so I'm making a bunch of videos. It'll be a couple months worth for sure. I've already started, but I'm putting out that'll be set on a set schedule. And when I go inside, I'm going to do telephone stuff. I mean, I went over the rules really. So yeah, I'm preparing. I'm 100% preparing for it. And like I said, when I walk out of here, let the bank take it. I mean, it is what it is. That's what I'm gonna. I've made bad decisions, and I'm a junkie, so I deserve to lose everything and not have my cancer taken out. So it is what it is. And yeah, I say that because it's like the medical conditions in the joint and especially county jail. It's 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 not even it's crazy that somebody it's anyway. What happens is, so let's just say, for example, I go in and then they send me to another urologist up in Washington County. That urologist then has to do another test on me. It's not like I just go get cancer removed. That's never happened. I've been through this before. I've been in prison being transferred. They then have to do a whole new cardiologist stress test. Not going to take it's like months. And the cancer that I have now is it's a lot different. You know, it's a lot different. And I'm not going to remove my bladder, especially being in the joint. So again, I don't fear the incarceration part. It's the aftermath stuff. It's the it's my mom's, age, so she's 85. We've gotten back on where we're talking. Sure, I'm gonna be disappointed, mad at myself, maybe mad at others, trying to blame. And I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to blame here tonight. I'm not. I accept responsibility for my actions. I just think it's think our I think this is one of the areas and let me stop. So if you guys remember, I did something for the History Channel a year or two ago that never aired. It's going to be aired the end of this month or the beginning of next month. I then had reached out to some of my media contacts that I had that I've let down, like a lot of people. And one person gave me like a real came up with something for when I was locked up, and it was ingenious. And I might go that route. I'll see what happens. But I think this is something I need to be talking about going forward. Judges, prosecutors, probation officers do not make the law. Judges call balls and strikes, and they have to enforce what they have in front of them. Some of them believe that for sure people with addiction issues need to be locked up if they violate supervised release. Um, I think that it's insane. Then you ask, what else do you do, Mr. Rosso? We've tried all the tools in the toolbox. You've had them all. What else do we do? What else do we do? I have actually something I want to say about that, but I'm not here, and I don't know if I will in the courtroom. But I do know that locking people up, especially when they had a sentence that the government called unjust, and it was corrected for addiction issues, is that is going to for sure put them in a at the poverty line level when they're making progress in their life is I don't want to use the word. So, but again, listen, go back to the video I did in the beginning, and I said clearly that what was going to happen if I get violated. Yeah, that's what it is. So I do have things still in my life to be look forward to. Like I said, I'm not getting a divorce. But the progress that I've made, the judge said that he was a sucker for a redemption story. I remember that. And that story is actually happening right now. It's just not happening at the pace and the way that other people would like to think. Um, and what is, I don't know. Like I said before, and let me tell you what else I said before, and I've said over and over again. I never promised the court, my family, or maybe my wife thinking that I was right. I never promised that I wouldn't do it again. I specifically said in court that I'm broken. I don't know how to. I can read it, but there was no way I even said I can't make a promise. I said that, but I also said if I get a dirty max me out or something. I said a lot of things, and what's always happens, what happens over and over again is because I talk so much on YouTube, conversations, whatever, people, especially government officials, will pick out the narrative they want and then they'll tag you with it. And they can because they're credible and I'm not. I remember making a comment to the chief probation officer, which I had issues with, but he's fine, about manipulation. He said something about me being a manipulator. And popped off and said, I'm like the master manipulator, something to that nature. And an SIS officer in prison actually said this, that I was the best they'd ever seen. And what they meant, what I meant was, this is what I told them. As a child, when you start using drugs, I'm lying about my drug use. As a drug dealer, starting in my teens, I lied about drug for obvious reasons. When you go to federal prison and you're dealing with staff, these people are trained in the art of manipulation. They call it tactics. So when you're dealing with government officials, and most of them are pretty hip to this, and you are an inmate or a convict or a prisoner, and you learn what the staff is about, you learn how they manipulate, how they lie, how they get around, then you have to outsmart them or manipulate them. When I said that, this has stuck with me. And every time I can't say anything to my attorney, to the probation, without them saying I'm manipulating or trying to spin a story or whatever. My God, you know how sick that makes, but whatever. And I'm going to tell you what else. And I figured out why it makes me so angry. It's called, I just saw the video yesterday. Psychological relapse. So in psychological relapse, this is what happens. You're not using. This isn't about when you use. Your brain is wired in a way that is automatically on the defense, because you've lied about drug use, you've been outed or whatever, and then you get really. I get super. One of my pet peeves has always been if you say I'm lying and I'm not. I know that sounds crazy because okay, lie about your drug use, but When you tell me I'm not doing something that I am, or you're saying it's like threatening. Those are my two biggest things. Threaten me or accuse me of lying or bullshitting or whatever when I'm being straight up honest. I see red. I see red. I do. And I learned it's called it's part of psychological manipulation. And you're so defensive that you immediately fire back in an emotional response. It's true. It's true. I do. That was I learned that was it this yeah, it was no, it was yesterday. And I was like, wow. I watched used to when I get wasted, especially after rehab the first time, I'd watch addiction videos. Now I watch them constantly. Um, and it's not just addiction. It's philosophy. There's all kinds of different stuff. I try to stay on that. And but oh shit, this is something I needed to point out. So this is when I really wanted to do this video and say something, okay? This is what happened. This is on New Year's. There is a guy, and he reached out to me who's a subscriber, and he watches my stuff. And he came and said, "Hey, Robert, I'm wondering if you're okay. Will you be continuing YouTube?" So this is May. Oh, this is when he found out when I was in jail. Okay. So this is December the 31st. Hey, Robert, I really hope you're doing okay. I know you probably got a lot of messages from subscribers, but I do hope you're doing okay. I'm from Northern Okay. So he went on and on. And I said, yeah, hey, thank you. I appreciate it. And Happy New Year to you too. Thank you. Then he went on. And then I checked your profile out. First of all, thank you for your service. I'm going to try to do a live tomorrow. That was on the second. But I'll have to see, but I will be posting videos. So you say you can relate to my story because he can. So I went on and on. And he came back and he said, for me, it's more than just the military. I have been a wood since I was 12 years old, and I didn't join the military until I was 23, and my mom died of cancer. My brother was sentenced to 15 years for killing somebody in a bar fight. I've struggled with addiction and a few suicidal attempts, but one day I realized that if I didn't join the army, I would go down the same path. I just wanted you to know your story is the same old story for us all, and it truly resonated with me. It gives me hope on so many levels. It's crushing me, by the way, this part. It gives me hope on so many levels. So please know that you make a difference, at least for me, every day to not be a scumbag. I know I was heading to be and to be the best dad and husband I'm striving for. Now, because I'd already knew I had to go in front of the judge and I was getting violated, and he's telling me that he's looking up to me. And let me tell you something, guys. Might believe it or not. Do you know how many people? So my phone changed recently. I'll get into that. I changed my phone number. You know how many people called me? There's at least 4 or 5 new people every day. People with suicidal thoughts, people with drug addictions. A- And I mean, so many people. And even though I've relapsed, um, like I said, I can't tell you how much like where I'm at in my life is making progress, is doing so much better. But there's this monkey in the room. It's called probation, supervised release. And I'm going to pay for that. And so the three most stressful things a human can endure is facing incarceration, marital problems, and financial problems. And I live with those constantly. Not to cry, not to complain. I got out of prison. I had a life sentence, so I should have a lot to be thankful for. As a matter of fact, those of you that lash out at me, quit crying, quit complaining. You were given everything. You're absolutely right. I also have this thing, and I don't want people say I know it's going to be brought up. I know it is. I'm using it as a crutch. As a crutch. Let me tell you something. People that say that, crutch these nuts in your mouth. That's what I want to say to you all that say that. Um, if you think that I don't know the potential that I get, is it wasting? Uh, you're wrong. I'm not going to shed tears about this one. Like I said, I I can't explain how. I feel about the situation right now. And I don't know which one of me is going to show up in court on Wednesday. I know that it won't matter because that person will be sent to prison with active cancer in his bladder and lose everything. And yeah, and I'm not can't go on what the after part about that is. I know that I have and you know what? And I'm saying that again, this is based off my attorney who I said, what about this? No. What about this? No. What about this? No. Not going to waste my time. And you know what? She's not a bad person. She was my judge's clerk for years. So it's like, I don't, I'm not trying to offend because it's just, it's a federal defender. I don't have money to get one. Uh, and she's good, but she's been tainted by probation, meaning she views me like they do. Everything's through a prism of lies and manipulation or whatever. That's how it looks. Starting back when I was in jail. Told her how I was faking and beating drug tests. She didn't believe me, told me I was lying. Gave her the ingredients and how I do it. I don't think she looked it up. And what happened was, well, no, I don't want to put that out there. Some people know, but I'm not trying to advocate for beating drug tests or give up the game. I'm not, you know. I mean, I hope everybody that's on probation and parole gets high beats a drug test. Okay, straight up, because the other side of that's incarceration, and it's not going to change right now. There are a lot of reform mind thinkers. Hell, I mean, look at even this court and my probation office. They've given me. I've had like people go to prison for a third of what I've done. So I don't want to. I need to put that out there. I have to put that out there. Okay. So, and I don't want to be like the boy who cries wolf. So I'm just saying, it's not that they're not tolerant. It's not that it's not. I'm looking at them. It's not about them. The words that they may say, maybe certain things about the issues, or if so, courts and probation. Okay, so imagine you're a judge, and I remember Judge Rogers in Fort Smith. He always asked the same question: "You smoke marijuana when you're a kid?" He believed, and he marijuana is the gateway drug. Marijuana, you smoke marijuana, your life's over. You know, that's so when a judge hears the same old stories time and time again, and then they see successful people overcome addiction, or they're not getting caught dirty, or they're waiting to get off supervised release. I got something to say about that real quick. Um, then the people that fail are piece of shit scumbag losers. Um, about the people in recovery. I really truly question how many people are totally sober, have not used, do not use prescription drugs such as Xanax or Valium or smoke medical marijuana. Because I know that the places they've sent me, probation, and there's so they use the ACT model. So this is used all over this part of rehabilitation. I know that every counselor, no, I know that one, two, I've had one, two, three, four, five, six. So four of them use drugs. Four of them that the court has sent me to use drugs. And I say that for this reason. When I find out that they use Xanax, when I find out that they use Valium, when I find out that they quit doing meth, went on Adderall for 3 years, and now smoke medical marijuana at night to get to sleep. And especially if I look up to them or really am learning something from them, just it crushes me. Because I remember the day I got out of prison, my friend picked me up. Uh, okay, I don't want to put it that way. So I remember being with somebody that's a friend who smokes vape marijuana all day, every day, 24/7, and saying, "You can't do this. You know, don't drink, don't do drugs." And I'm like, dude, I wasn't like I drank beer the night before the first time I got out. This on the second day out. And I'm like, I don't need like pot doesn't appeal to me. Meth, damn sure. I haven't done it since the 90s. I think I did in 2000 something one time. And I'm like, the thing I got to worry about is like hurting my back and being on opiates. And I said, I'm good. Like, I didn't want, he's like, people like us need something. We don't change, And I'm like, but you got to walk down your paper. You got to do your paper and you can get off, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what do you mean we don't change? Like, what do you mean we need a substance? And I go to rehab. My counselor, and not even my other counselors saw it. One of them, the reason I went back into church has to do with the counselor up at the Harbor House. Brought something up to me. And it was the timing, okay? And by the way, going to church for the first time for me was like doing a shot of dope. Closest thing to a drug was going to church the first time. And subsequent masses, got a really good father up there. Catholicism, I was born and raised in the Catholic Church, but I don't go to church based on that church, based on Catholicism's values, okay? But went to confession, slept great for 3 weeks. Imagine the confessions I had to say after 39 years. I was there for a while. And what he had to say was phenomenal too. But over and over again, this one counselor, one that hooked me up, that got me back into the he was scratching, okay? So I know he has issues, pain issues. And I'm like, dude, what's up? Or something like he looked high, okay? He's gonna go up and do a class in a minute. He's like, oh, I didn't sleep good last night. He's got that scratch going. And then I said, well, what kind of medication? He's like, oh, the doctor prescribes me 7.5 Norco. I do it twice a day. Opiates, no, oxycodone, hydrocodone, Narco, really? Yeah, I mean, it's just prescribed by the doctor. Okay, so in rehab, we were taught that the reason people do drugs is to change the way you feel. It's like the counselor that told me that smoke medical marijuana at night. You're smoking it because it changes the way you feel. So then I'm like, who the fuck is really sober? I start thinking these thoughts. I told my wife about this, and she said, wish the man never would have told you. She was right, because then I got in my head about it. And then when I relapsed, I really get in my head about it. Like, what the fuck? Okay. And I don't know. Listen, there's people that are truly, but I look at the AA meetings and I can see everybody, I can see the pins in people's eyes. I can see signs of prescription drugs. Maybe sometimes not, just depends, but 90% of the time, I'm right. And I'll broach the subject. Oh yeah, I have anxiety disorder, so I take Xanax bar. It's like, what? You're doing drugs. You know what I mean? So that part gets discouraging too. And then I go back to, am I constitutionally capable, or am I just looking for excuses for real? But they're far, far, far away from getting this thing with addiction right. Is it a disease? Is it a choice? Why do you want to fuck up? Why do you self-sabotage? But yet there's people that really think they've got it. People in positions of power, people that see, and I'm thinking of courts, and that's not a knock on my judge, by the way. I want to make that's not. But I hear it from the same type of people, even people in AA. You know who the hardest people on addicts are? People in AA and NA. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, you get it. You don't want to try to go out there and use again. Hey, there's plenty of liquor stores. And I'm not sure, man. I don't know. I don't know. It's like I said, it's a trip because I've got all this over my head. I know where I'm going, but yet what's going on is in a positive way. That's all going to be so I don't know. I'm talking out loud for real. If people have stuck up for me and said, Rob's been doing good, Rob has been doing good. So you're not wrong. Fuck the relapse shit. I'm saying that I've been doing well. Yes, I've still got a lot of problems. Relationships. But I was slowly digging my way out of that. Like back to the point to where if I can just get a wrap on, if I can work enough or make enough money just to pay my immediate bills, I'm so backed up. That has just been a freaking nightmare. Never stops. and I can't get out of the hole. And that has been a big one. The wife issue, that's like I said, we're not, it's not, we're not getting a divorce. Um, so there's positive things, but there's still issues that coincide with my addiction stuff. That's the God's honest truth. But last time I got locked up when I in March, April, like they needed to take me off the street for real. Like I needed to be locked up. You know, I needed it. Um, this time my life's in order. No, no, stop. This time I can see a little bit of light in the tunnel on how things can progress. I just keep it at slow and steady pace. Um, and if I can get the other factors of my life balanced out, that's what you need. I was watching Dr. Bob, I think his name was. He was one of these lead addiction things, researchers. And he was talking about people coming out of rehab and having to face all their problems again. And what should actually go on, especially with people that use meth. So all my dirties, they all say meth, this and that. And I can't go into the prior ones. I do use it. Yeah. Yes. And probably, no, not more. In the past, no. I was going to say probably more than alcohol. That's not true. So, but I hate the stigma of the meth stuff. You know, I do. Um, I cannot believe that I'm 54 and I came out of prison and used meth after so many months. It's just, it seems surreal, you know? I still have my teeth, right? I'm still fat. Uh, um, anyway, so the takeaway, the goof trooper, right? James Proctor was on top of that. And this is what it is. There'll be videos. I might do my addiction history. I'm not really sure. When I get in the joint, and I do believe, without a doubt, shit, this is probably going to be the clincher right here. Who knows? But you know what? It's okay. And pictures of my family is what it is. What can I say? Um, I don't know when I'll do live. I might do it live Tuesday night. We'll see what happens. Um, Otherwise, vultures in the neighborhood. You guys want to see me home? Have that before the bank does. As that's I'm everything's here. Fuck it. I mean, it is what it is. Like I keep saying. And by the way, neighbor up the street, Mr. Shane. Make sure you have $8 grand. That's what your bond's going to be. Just want to let you know. 2 charges. Figured out. So, do I want to go? Let me see. What time is it? Mike, let's go back to you for a second. What's up? What do you want to say? What do you want to say? You have got great flower, John Wolf. Wolf, fascinating. Proctor is one strange bird. James, I don't know. Man, I can think of a nickname for everybody. Oh shit. Do you know that I did Amber Alert videos? So after Amber Alert went and found Sammy, after he went all over looking for Sammy the bull for attention, so he can side with the other Dottie. I did spoof videos about it where I was driving up to Fort Smith and I was stopping at playgrounds, parks, and I was having James call and talk to Amber Alert. And I've got those videos. I didn't want to do them because if you guys have noticed, I've took down the negative videos more or less. And got cold turkey open 3 or 4 times. I keep saying to myself, you did this to yourself, no one to blame. Sometimes you just got to accept ownership. So TPM14, are you saying that I'm not accepting ownership? An encyclopedia of much love and savage output. Let me go back and see it. Let me see, because I know that I'm going to get a bunch of people. Let's see what you guys are saying. I'm sorry. And MRE, why am I getting messages saying something about MRE and this and that? You guys Rob needs what? Oh, here we go. Do I want to do this? I'm going to be a bunch of fucking haters, aren't there? Wow. Okay. Great to see you. Hold on. The snow is really starting to pick up, getting 6 to 12. Michael, what's up? Christopher Capella. Tommy is amongst talking about the guy who goes, all right, and welcome, Robert. Steven, what's up? Dennis, Mike, hello, Robert. Good to see you again, man. Hey, Link, Marine, hey, Pazan, Zach, you scared now that Joey Testa is out? Joey Testa's out? Am I scared? You out of your mind? Joey Testa get out? He needed, man, I was going to do a video about that, so I better go check the out date. Or is getting out? Is he getting out? Or you just don't know what you're talking about? You're talking about Anthony Center. Zach, and are you actually saying that I'm scared? Man, you guys don't know me. I'm not a killer. I'm not a big tough guy. I don't fear, especially death. Work call convict. Are you doing prison shows or still therapy sessions? Nick, very good. You got me there. This isn't therapy session. This is explaining it. Oh shit, he bought back the wood paneling. No, I'm just in the front room of the house. Don't lie about Lee. Don't lie about Lee. He's cold-blooded. Who's cold-blooded? Don't lie about Lee. What is this that? Big, okay, here we go. Be a man. Me a fucking man. You. What? He's making up lies yet again. Who's making up lies? This is okay. Snowing here a couple miles an hour. Gino, who's the picture behind you? That is great grandmother's. So my grandfather's father married, his first wife died when he was young. And I'm not sure if this is the one he married or if that's the original grandmother. That over here you can't see is my mom's nana. And there's a picture over there of their wedding that somebody offered me $1,000 for. Never do that. Stay on the wall when I go. So scared. Pussy blocked me. Who blocked? Zach, I don't know. Okay. Zach Pan's brother's chat isn't for trolls. Good evening, guys. Sure you did. See, great. It's okay. Christopher, the guy that says okay. Some here in CT. It's been about 2 years. Getting 6 to 12 here. Okay. Tommy, dude, that's not true. Yo, Rob, Joe Williams, what's up? Nick Rico, listen to all the complications that you are trying to juggle. Man, stop this shit and live. Nick, the complications I'm trying to juggle have been the same complications for a while. Nick, it's all excuses. How did you leave prison with $250 and end up losing everything? $250K? Who the fuck left with this guy's Zach? You need to be blocked. Somebody, I don't got the guy. It's not facing reality unless he's really can't live without a million rules and constant disappointment. Sad Zach. Not face. Okay. Maybe I'll give you that. He got in touch with me anytime. Hey, Jimmy, I had a talk, was good stuff. Thanks. Hoping all well. Okay. Stacy, sorry to hear about your health. I hope you feel better. I'm fine, thanks. Hello, Rob. Glad to see you. I flyer. This fucking weakness just makes me wonder about all his shit. I want to like this guy, but what the fuck, Nick? I'm weak. I'm a junkie. I'm a junkie loser, bro. It's good to see you. Sounds like he wants to check back in and go to Lexington and die inside. Sucks, comment, brother. Oh, come on. No, won't be Lexington. It'll be Terre Haute. I will go back to my parent unit. That's what they usually do. Welcome back. As far as dying inside, it's not. What's kicking Russo? Sorry, but I just dumped out of supporting brothers a lot. Supporting another brother's life. Okay, Greg, cool. You sound like you're safer in there and you'll get treatment. All the violations and the procedure shit that goes with it is nuts. Live right. You sound like you're safer in there and you'll get treatment. I get treatment out here. One of the reasons I got out was the lack of treatment. But what the fuck, Big Rob? Harbor area in here. You all right, Rob? Marky Mark, violation. Happy New Year. Doing a great job. Nick, this is a man who belongs inside because he's a danger to others, because he just can't handle being on his own. Can't handle being on his own. Well, you're right about that. I'd rather be with my wife. Salute. What up, Greg? My balls are sweaty and they stink. Jay, keep on trucking, brother man. Rings true, Zach. I don't like some Nick and Zach. I said it, my ball. I pray you get your surgery before you have to go back to jail. Live life for the fullest, Rob. We only get one life to live, brother. Health, number one. It's easy if you stay mindful of it. It becomes second nature. Be religious about it. I wish you the best. Thanks, Marky Mark. No transfer. Yikes. What you violate with full drugs, alcohol, going back for dirties is what they wrote down. How long will you be in jail for? I think the max is 3 years, but it could be 5. I don't know what he's going to do. I'm not sure. If you are not wrenches out anyone that has battle BC Stacy at least a year, he can restart your supervised release as well. Mike, did you hear what I read? Stay positive. Listen, right now, so Thursday night after the phone call with my attorney and subsequent things that happened was bad. Friday morning was bad. Okay. As a matter of fact, damn, and I didn't even run. My probation officer came to the house. I thought it was the water department. And he came by to get my signature on something. And I was on the phone, not a good call. And I went to go get dressed and I saw it was the probation and I just pissed. And I was like, oh, they're coming for another. I just drug test the day before. And I saw a message that he sent that it wasn't about a drug, about something else. And I laid on the bed because I was going to explode. And I literally fell asleep and didn't wake up for like 7 hours. It's crazy because I was so overworked the night before from some of the calls and stuff. So that was bad. But look, it's a situation to where, well, for sure, when I found out, when my attorney is telling me over and over again that she had a client, stage 4 cancer, they put him in. He died 3 days after he got out. That was a bummer. And then another guy was told the judge is going to be homeless, and the judge didn't care. So I was like, at that point, and then I was like, my brain was trying to think of what it puts. I don't have nowhere to put anything. So at that point, so I'm like, resign now. Look, I'm walking out and leaving my life behind. Whatever happens, happens. This judge let me out on compassionate release. He corrected an unjust sentence. He was tolerant with my dirty urines from the past and was very tolerant and was specific about what he would do if I went back in front of him. Well, I mean, yes and no. My probation officer was giving me hope about certain things that can happen, and my lawyer just killed it. Killed it, washed it out. You're going in, get ready. So at that point, I looked, and then I got my boss, who's like, I had to tell him, he's like, man, you're going to get advanced and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. What? What? So it's kind of like confusion, man up and accept responsibility. Man up and accept your responsibility. Yeah, is doing drugs a choice? So I said in court that I believe if you're clean a while and you do drugs, then it is a choice. Once you start, that it's not. I can show you addiction video after addiction video that says that it's absolutely not as clear cut as a choice. And I'm not trying to make up excuses because nobody thinks about this more than me. And Mike Miller's out there. Anybody who knows me from prison, and even knows me out here, will tell you how many times I say I'm going to stop. This is the last one. This is the last one ever. So much so that it's like a joke to people, but I'm serious when I say it. I've got journals from prison where I did the same thing. Now I'm getting to a point, like I said, so now there's also this part of it's resign. It's like, okay, Maybe I'm one of those people in an AA book. Maybe I should accept it. And I know people that I grew up with in California, other places that didn't go to prison, don't have criminal records. They're all still using stuff on and off. They're functional. And then I think, but I'm, you know, I'm an addict. I'm an addict. Um, and you know what my primary behavioral addiction is? Food. Food. I mean, before food, I ate last night, I think it was a gallon of cookie dough ice cream, 4 Belgian waffles that I made, and I could have ate 40, 40, and keep going. So I have I run the gamut. Porn, sex, can't gamble, don't have money to gamble. It's not gonna was. But it's not. But the difference between now and before was it's not a continuous thing that I've been on a run, so to speak. Um, yeah, so it's just trying to get my mind wrapped around it, the whole process, and going back and front, and it's yeah, I don't know how to explain it yet. And I don't know if I will be able to Wednesday. I don't know which one of me is going to show up. And I say that not as a multi personality, but just depends. There's so many factors that can happen. And this, I'm sure, didn't do me any favors, but whatever. According to my attorney, it doesn't matter. So we'll see. Other than that, Mike, did you write me back when I asked you? So I was going to ask you, what's up? Okay. Anybody else? What the fuck? What? You're getting a year for the violation? Oh, Marky Mark. No, it's more. So there is reset the supervised release easy. Um, yeah, 2 to 3, probably 3. You would probably have to check in, Zach. You see, there's people like this that I want to just make a girl out of. I swear, I'm sorry. You get 2 days for one in the feds. No, 54 days a year, whatever. I'm not. I don't even. So the good time. I'm not sure how it's going to work. Plus, there's a whole different other argument I can't talk about right now. Uh, just let a couple of lives support. You know how I do my best. Okay, right on, Greg. You got to ask yourself, was it worth it? And where do you go from here? Mike, if there's where was it worth it? Um, when was this anyone? Sorry, but I missed out on a lot. When was this anyway, Greg? So the dirties started, they're hitting me for dirties that started way back. After all that, you obviously want to be back in, brother. You are a fuck up. They have plenty of room for you. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. Michael Miller to Terre Haute for 3 years. Zach, okay, if you get into rehab, they will not violate you. No, I've been into rehab for criminal act. Oh, so I got discharged from the Harbor House from transitional living for not paying, being behind 2 weeks on my rent, even though. See, this is the thing. I swear to God, I can explain everything, but it doesn't matter. You're manipulating. You're lying excuse. Like I got text messages from my house manager saying the money is on. He didn't get it because I can't say that. That's YouTube will ban me if I say that. Let's just say that they teach you in rehab people, places, and things, right? Not to be around. His two best friends just died of drug overdoses within like 2 days before. So I obviously he's hanging around people that he shouldn't have. Whatever. Okay. So whatever caused him not to pick up the money order that I had, it became a discharge reason. And they said that I only showed up a few hours a day, which was true because I stayed at my wife's or I stayed here and I went up there. That's true because he told me that on second shift. And I've got text messages. Doesn't matter. Lori don't want to hear it. Doesn't matter. You're not getting violated for that. The judge is not going to care about that. But okay. One of them, the one of them is Mr. Rouser didn't have a job in the first 4 weeks. Yeah, I did. And I got an affidavit from my employer. I got him saying that they gave me a job that probation won't let me have. Doesn't matter. Robert, doesn't matter. You're missing the point. No, I'm not missing the point. I'm telling you So I'm going in and saying it doesn't matter. Don't need no witnesses. Judging. I mean, this is what I'm being told. And then when I talk to my attorney, she calls probation right afterwards. The probation calls her. So it's like, I do. I ever did it. I did it. So I did it to myself. Mike, was it worth it? Which part? Losing the 18 lots and the house that I gambled away in a day, and which part? Messing up my relationship. Which part? And did I do it intentionally? And yeah, so look, listen, look, I'll not apologize for being an addict. Period. Can't, won't. You can feel, I can feel shame. I can feel this or that. How do I do it? It takes, if I went into rehab and I came out and there was no marriage because of the things I did or shenanigans, no marriage, and my financial situation was miraculously better, I highly doubt I'd be in this situation. I don't know. This is what these programs I'm watching tell me. When you have the problems that you went in with and they still exist, I try to eliminate them. I made myself believe that this house was part of the problem. This house I've been more sober in than any place else. But rehab's where I relapsed in there. I mean, so you can relapse anywhere. It again, I question, excuse me now. It's like I don't I used to not believe that drugs should even be that drugs should not be decriminalized, that they should still have illegal drugs. I went into prison in 1997 and they made a big deal out of it. It was in the papers. They said that they cut the head off the snake and that I was the biggest methamphetamine importer, whatever, in the Western District of Arkansas. When I came out and I saw people that would call the cops on me for smoking a joint, strung out on meth, I cannot believe the amount of drugs in society now compared to what it was when I went in. What is this for? Why are we locking people up for this anymore? I don't say that. I don't care if I'm in prison or not. It doesn't make sense. And now I don't have any further violations, but I violated this because I can't control my addiction issues based on what counselors would say. That they would name the specific things. So I'm not going to put that out. Exact same things based on certain things. I can't get it right. I can't. When I relapsed, by the way, the first time it was intentional, and I had a drug test in the morning and I didn't care. I'm going to say it again. It was an argument. It was intentional. It wasn't a craving. It wasn't a da 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 da. It was everybody around the neighborhood in the rehab were getting high. So what I did, and I'm not telling on them, people know this. So what I did is I just said, well, fuck, I can go home right now and I'll just do this. I'll go back to prison. I literally said I'm going to do that to go back to prison. So I created this okay. I started that process and I said those words. And I've said many times, prison's easier than out here. When you don't know how to get a job or you put 100, that's my experience. And I don't give a flying fuck who says. I've got many people that come out of prison and they get a job and they've done 20 years. Well, I didn't. Okay. That's not what happened with me. And I don't care who criticizes me, to be honest, about it. In the neck. But I got to say to you, somebody said something about he wants to go to Lexington and dies. So the truth is, I'm going way out there right now. The truth is, I've always been infatuated with suicide. Take it easy. Don't send fucking them with straight jackets here. I've talked about this before. There was two real attempt, one real attempt. It was Russian roulette, basically. And if there was heroin in prison the day Obama commuted the last instances, including Chelsea Manning, I would not be here right now, 100%. Times. So I've always thought, I never looked at suicide as weakness. Okay. think you gotta have big fucking balls to do that. And I've been disappointed in myself many times because I haven't been able to. That was usually in the woe is me category when I'm on drugs, coming off. A lot of people have suicidal thoughts. I'm talking about sober. I'm talking about in good times having those thoughts. Not, not, it's so don't read into this like I'm saying this now. You brought up the fact about going to Lexington and throwing it in. I'm in my 50s. The judge even said, like, you're too old to be doing this. Like, you don't have chances left. If I was in my even 40s, I probably would have violated a long time ago. Um, it's being 50, it's getting out of prison on a life sentence. It's the way everything happened and the chain of events and how I sabotaged everything. I did it. I am not being able to come the addiction. And it's also like I've lost the will to fight right now. A reporter actually gave me a really good idea that maybe got a little energy back in me. Um, but I believe in God. I haven't said that in many years, but I do. Uh, if I died tomorrow, I just wouldn't. Okay, okay. I believe in God, and that's like a lot of religious people. They believe in God, but they're scared to death to die. Why? Why? And I can't fathom the thought of getting out and wife or no wife, um, starting over with nothing. Like I'm going to have lose all my birth certificates, photographs. So it's the thought of all that. That's what makes me just like fuck. I'll just refuse medical treatment in prison. Let fucking cancer eat me away. So you weren't far off on that. You weren't far off, but it's not in a way. It's not. It's just like I said it. It's like I'm tired. I'm tired of lying to myself. Fuck everybody else. I'm tired of lying to myself. I'm tired of thinking that I'm gonna make it or riding the pink cloud out of rehab, only to fuck it up again. Hurting myself. I don't care about whatever people. But and it's the view of it. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't, and I will because I think about it constantly. And yeah, if my voice, if anybody takes away like, oh, Rob, so I don't want people to walk away with that person. This is what addiction looks like. This is what real life looks like. Fuck all you trolls on there that talk shit. I don't really care about you people. The Amber Alert crew and Victoria's sister, uh, they're the goof troop. And I don't care if they call me a junkie and a loser. Look what he did. He destroys. I don't care. This is what it looks like. The people that wrote me, like this guy did, who was looking up to my story, I feel bad about that because I didn't come out sooner and address it. Of course, if I was off probation, I'd be able to address a lot more things. But yeah, that weighs on me. That weighed on me a lot. But I can't get a handle on what I want to my true feelings about addiction, especially being in it. Um, because there's so much more to this. And you can turn the channels, there's 10 different people that have 10 different opinions. Yet everybody knows what they're talking about. It's all bullshit. And by the way, let's medicate everybody with Suboxone because that's better than it's like, man, I don't know. I don't know. And yeah, it is what it is. Maybe people can learn from my mistakes and say, don't be a Robert. I don't care. Don't be a Robert. That's cool. Don't be handed a bunch of stuff and don't succumb to your addictions. Don't blow it. You know, I don't know, but whatever. Here I am. It's probably going to hurt me. It's going forward. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with whatever happens. And as my feelings come out, as I figure out what I'm feeling, I'll probably express it. Maybe that'll change 10 times. And you'll be hearing from me while I'm in the joint for sure. I actually called uh, prison officials to really get a handle on certain things. So yeah, you're going to be here. And as far as check-in, man, yeah, whatever. Um, and by the way, I need to find out if Joey Test is actually getting out because I had You don't deserve to go back, John Fox. That dude, he got a lottery ticket to be out of prison. You got a lottery ticket to be out of prison. I do not look forward to seeing my friends with life sentences. Arrogance will fit right in. Let's hear you talk to us like the judge is watching this video. The judges watch this video. What are you talking about? Best of luck, hoping you can solve this in the most positive possible way. They may send him elsewhere. I left Rob and Tara in 18 when I went back for a violation and grade. Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm a care level 3, Mike, so I'm going to a cancer place anyway. So I'm going where it's full of drugs. They're gonna send me to prisons where it's all full of drugs, Mike. Don't worry about it. Rob Holler, well, I've done meth and had some amazing experience. One time I was too wild to get touched again. After 2 days, you're useless. TPM 1424. A lot of meth addiction videos here in the last couple months. The benefits of methamphetamine. And it's crazy to watch those videos. And they talk about the benefits, and especially with college, and they talk about amphetamine, Adderall, and everything. Lots of freaking benefits to meth. Lots of benefits. They call addiction a superpower. Yeah, superpower. So, man, like I said, it's a trip. Okay, so let me just fail again. All leads to peace. Fail, all leads to peace. Problem is, it doesn't end after day 1. The meth buzz keeps going. What happens is meth changes your brain. 1000%. You stay in that cartoon, right? So that was how I lived back then. It's not a cartoon. Agitation. It definitely. It's not like snorting coke. It's not like you, Rob. You're going to be okay. They say a job rehabilitates a person. Wayne Duncan. I can't comment on that. I can't. I've never seen anyone who didn't cooperate get all this consideration from a federal court. That's how lucky this guy is. And right now, he wants to flip off the court. Rob, no one gives a fuck. Obviously, Nick, you do, because you keep making comments, so you care. I actually live rent free in your head. You're not a hard guy. Remember that. I'm not a hard guy. Protect your peace. He'll probably block me after this, so it's good talking. I don't block people, Nick. You want me to. You want attention. Self-sabotage, bro. It's what we do. You got to get out of that rut. Sure. I miss the comfort of sadness. Rob needs the rules of prison. Deborah Day, except I didn't follow them. This sounds up. Never get up. Got this. Bro, fucking go back. Okay. Whoa, who started that? Yikes. Welcome back, bro. Troy, good. Mike Miller. No judgment here. You're only human. Don't be so hard on yourself. They should not send you back for relapse with cancer. That's cruel. I lost my father as well, Robert. Recent, just hitting home. I don't know why release has to be supervised. They set people up to fail. So, B1. Second chances work wonders. I've had like 50 million chances. That's one of the problems too. Why you don't just go to the methadone or subclinic? Wayne, I did it. I just abused. It doesn't work for me. Help your boy out. He's needing a friend. Imagine praying to hear this pathetic dribble. Imagine paying to hear this pathetic dribble. This guy in PC will love hearing guys. Nick, guys in PC. So when people think like this, it automatically lets me know that they've been in PC. That they're running kind of. I'm gonna be nice. It's pretty easy to maintain on Suboxone. Bro, Suboxone is what we get high on in prison. The sad reality is that they do send you back for addiction. I went back for smoking weed to help with pain for hernia, taking opiate instead of taking opiates. Hope you're doing well, bro. Yeah. I mean, I was stunned by the attorney call. So, wait a minute. I hope you. Yeah, you went back for smoking weed. That's right. See, it's just. I think that they consider violating probation a flagrant. You don't want to obey the law. I forgot how it's said. Stacy, he should be hard on himself. He got out of prison where he should have been serving life. This person thinks that I had 250 grand and 6 houses and tons of property. No, 18 lots, 2 houses. Now he's lost everything and is going back because of drugs. So, okay, this one has more. He should be hard on himself. Boy, I should be hard on myself and think about every day and go, oh, wow, I lost everything. I'm such a scumbag. Pull out their bunny ears to say system's low. That's why I tried calling him, reached out several times, he said I can't do it. That's fucked up with all the violent criminals. Oh yeah, this guy said he beat a life sentence. Let me go back to this idiot. He should be hard. He's been got out of prison. He should have been serving life. So Zach, I should have been serving life, right? The prosecutor offered me 2 years to snitch. Would you have snitched? You bet your ass you would have. There's only a few real men in this world. Pull out the bunny ears. Before he was on supervisors and had multiple dirty pisses. Yes, I did. I understood, Mike. I know you're trying to be a good friend to him. You're a good fella. So what? Who's the victim here? Instead of Convict Inc., it should be Fuck Up Inc. Okay. Just keep talking about me, okay? Because you guys are bumping up my algorithm. I haven't been here in a while. Stopping by to say hello, Convict Inc. Apparently, he is for doing drugs, violating, and gambling away all his money on houses. Apparently, he is. No, it's for dirty earnings. That violates the gambling was before. I asked for gambling restrictions. I asked for a job, and I asked for alcohol restrictions. Rob, if you have to go back on vacation, get you a boy, fall back and chill. Why would I get a boy? I didn't do that before. And if you think about doing a boy when you're in prison, that means you've had that on. Where is the crime? It's his money, his life, his health. What do you care if he got high or gambled? Both of which are legal. You won. Boy, you must be a libertarian. And I have a libertarian streak too. Not when you're on supervised, but not when you're on supervised release. You can't be an addict when you're on supervised release, okay? Make sure you're not an addict when you're on supervised release. Stop it. I know people that actually do. And I know people in these programs right now that are getting hot. So you know what? Let me tell you, let me bring this up. I remember people coming back for dirty urines, right? Usually like 3 or 4. So the court has been more than top for sure. And I said, what kind of fucking idiot can come back on a dirty nowadays? There's always synthetic drugs. You can go get on pills. Like I can get on any pain pill I want because I got a bad back. I can get on opiates for days, right? So any kind of pain pill, or you can get on Suboxone, or you can get on Adderall. I mean, like you can get on anything that's legal right now. Yeah, I didn't like. I never ever thought I would even do drugs. Wholeheartedly believe that. Day 1, beer. Yeah. Everything's going to be fine. Keep working. Supervised release is bullshit. When you leave prison, that should be it. It is what it is, but keep on trucking on. Thanks, Greg. Man, I started watching this guy since his first video. That is sad. You're cool. Thank you. I know I'm not just joking about it. What? Keep working. The problem is he does not work. Do work? Yeah, I work. Been doing work. Been working in a factory. The cancer makes it difficult. No, it doesn't. Though some people back again. Good seeing you again. I hope all is well. Amends say, Greg, send me all those contacts that. That's right. I hope you're doing okay, Rob. They need a different program. No. Legislating from the bench. Judges have too much power. As I will sweat the alcohol this month. Can't it just not be another 4-letter word in my vocabulary? I can't make more videos about folks on the Westies. How did they become boss average gang video? Is he going back to the slammer? Yes. Rob, don't give up. They should leave you alone. You have bladder cancer. You're getting bothering. Okay. Thanks, John Wolf. I appreciate it. Why is he going back to prison? 30 years. Because of the victimless probation laws. That's not much info on the subject. Like our probation officers and the manipulators as well. They do tactics. Yes, they will hold you in contempt. Called being dry drunk. Fox. I hope Rob was able to hear about FBS's. What? Is that FBS got slapped? I hope things go positive. You don't deserve this BS. One day at a time. Rob, best of luck, Cuba. Is that by Johnny Mac? Did Johnny Mac slap him or something like that? But I don't really. Crutch is another prohibition word. Yeah, you're back. Cold turkey Suboxone, it's horrible. Going to jail and detoxing has to be horrible. Well, I won't be detoxing going in for sure. So I mean that was horrible last time. Man, it was like 5 days. So it's not. They're gonna. Matter of fact, I get drug tested the day I go. Patient Robert, Happy New Year. Happy New Year too. You too. Our top. Hey Rob, how's it hanging? So yeah, my balls swelled up. I had to go to the emergency. Man, listen to me. You guys didn't know about this. I go to rehab. I'm living in transitional living, and I go to see my sponsor, my AA sponsor. like AA better than NA, by the way. And I come out of a meeting in a very rich, wealthy part of Fort Smith, residential, and hit a 10-point freaking buck that wiped my car out. I still don't have the headlight. I got pulled over 7 times with warnings. Car broken. Looks. Um, 10-point buck. People waited in trees their entire life to kill what I killed in a residential area. Unbelievable. I then, one of my testicles swelled up. I had to go to the emergency room right after that. I just had 8 stitches in my hand from pushing up on a window to make sure it was sealed. Man, it's crazy. It's just, I'll never forget my wife looking at my car and she says, "It's because you have demons." I got demons in me. Man, I got mad about that, but it was funny now. Go in front of the judge, humble. You never know. I'm not like, this isn't about anything I said. It's not about my judge. I've made, the truth is always great, Ken. I was told I can't tell the truth. Marijuana should be the worst of people's worries, but I do agree it can be a gateway. But Wasso isn't a jam. The truth, I'm not in a jam. I mean, I am behind on the vid. This video is disappointing, Rob. You have given up on yourself. Do you really want to give up so easily? Don't do what's easy, do what's right. Ken's tripping. I'm not sure. I hope he makes it out. I recommend that John will purchase Slug Wars glasses. Getting high and stealing or robbing people, you should go to jail. As a glitch it sounds, addiction needs help. As a cliche as it sounds, addiction needs help. Yeah, no one can save you but yourself, not even God. Agreed. The science, allegedly. John Wolf is AA is so judgmental, it seems. It is. Rob, what's up, bro? Mob rat hunter, but acceptable by others on some vibe. Looking at it now. Looking good, Rob. My friend and I have degrees. I would say 30 to 40% of my friends use drugs, and in for the other, most of it's marijuana and painkillers. I got glasses. Tons of people don't think they're on drugs because of doctors. Yeah, it's true. TPM, I'm reading. I agree about the doctors. Some people just get high on it. I'm glad you can have a prescription for Adderall and still be a junkie. Yeah, I purchased some jelly flavored. Yes, and that's why meth sucks. I'll never touch you again. Yeah, meth is meth changes the brain more than any other drug. It's the dopamine release. There's not a drug that's made that gives a higher dopamine release. So when people do it, including myself, you don't like the initial feel. It's the dopamine release. It's like the drug you hate that you can't wait to do more. Well, that's not true. It's not. It's so hard to explain. It just depends. It has to be. It's triggered. I don't know. I wouldn't like it. James Proctor is the most micro machines guy. He talks very fast. I like the conquerors of the seas. Proctor is one strange bird. John Wolfe, fascinating, great flower. Cup culture killed its free turn. Keep saying to myself, you did this to yourself, no one to blame. Sometimes you just got to accept ownership. You have to figure out your key core problems, which I have. And then you have to be able to know everything in your life has to be, when you're in rehab or whatever, you have to really get a grip on all the stuff that was going on before. And if you're around people that don't believe in you or are negative or that accuse you of lying about a job, you don't need to be around those people. Encyclopedia of Criminal Knowledge. Hey, Rob, James is like a machine. I have to go to a facility one time for 3 days to detox. I couldn't believe how bad alcohol is. People just think it's okay because it's sold with alcohol. Withdrawal is one of the worst. Much love, all savage out. Prayers, blessings. As well as myself with alcohol. Crime Machine, James Proctor. I've been watching Scott Bernstein a lot lately. Gunner's Nightmare. James Proctor should be painting his pigments. He knows nothing about drugs. James knows a lot about drugs. Actually, DMP. James is used from. Well, let him tell you. Anyway, what about Henry? John Wolf. Henry's supposed to be getting out. I don't know about this Joey Testa getting out. James, that's James's wife, by the way. Yo, Rob, hugs and biscuits. That's pizza, McGill Grill. Mail order. I hope something works out for you. Yeah, well, thank you. Okay, I just did. All right, guys. She looks like she's a very good girl. Sorry, dude. Just have to change up. Yikes. Still many prayers and blessings. No problem, Greg. Rob needs help. If he was a violent criminal, that's a different story. Okay. The government would say that they've helped me all that they can. They've been super tolerant. That's true. As far as dirty urines. And the umbrella is being left behind. Oh, I see. Yeah, you're right, John. I'm sorry. Must have been awkward. John will Mason probably has no family left. Or meth your machine for the first night and make like a top of the world by day 2 you become useless. Yep. Keep up the fight. Henry was defending himself and finding his own motion. I think the boredom sometimes get used with drugs. I'm a bachelor. Sometimes you just want to feel good. People do drugs to change the way they feel. So and I'm going to tell you what I told my PO. So there's a day that my brain, it was like squirrels. I was just scrambling. And I did math perfection. I got everything done I needed to. I was completely fucking focused. I had a drink of beer too, which nowadays, if you do speed, you can get drunk off of beer. Which doesn't make much sense, right? But that is horrible. He didn't have any children like Joe. So boredom is also is the reason people to use yes. Cast iron Dutch oven. Hey, bro, our lives, ironically, some of this shit is a daily fight. You have to want it for real. God bless. William, you could, man, I don't know what to say. I don't disagree. No, you will end up in Missouri, Robert. Missouri? Springfield. Who knows? Focus on cooking to keep your mind off dope. Food is a problem for me. I wish there was something we can do to help Rob. I feel sincere. I'm fine. I'm good. He's going to court Wednesday. They'll help me all I need. Ouch, probably. Norway. I hope you're Norway. Ouch, terrible news. Maybe someone he'll slide through. No. Some way. I'm saying that about myself. I meant when I was going through opiate withdrawal, I kept saying to myself, sorry for mixed up. Yeah. My niece is about to get out of the lengthy prison sentence. People in there have been telling her they don't send you back for getting high anymore. I wish she could see this. William, they are trying not to send people back. And I'm talking about the state prisons. They really are. It depends on your past crime. So my entire criminal history is 3 drug convictions. And by the way, 2 of those drug convictions don't even fit as far as anyway, that's I don't want to get there. So they are. And yeah. Okay. Yeah. About to start a business inside for the spring. About to start busting seedlings. You need some cats. I hate cats, but I almost got a puppy, and I realized I couldn't. And by the way, I killed Bambi the other day, man. It was horrible, and I mean it. So I hit the big deer, then I killed Bambi. Jesus Christ! You ever hear a baby deer scream in pain and agony? It's the worst. I've had nightmares about it since. And let me tell you something. I had to kill it with a rock to put it out of its misery. Sucked. Oh, if I just hate you, little boys, we'll see you soon. I can be important Monday morning. You can't outlaw drugs because it's something. Outlaw drugs, even sentencing people, like they talk about, like 5 pounds is a lot. Are you kidding me now? Used to be that was a lot, man. Homeless people have like quantity enforcement. It's Robert Rosso was the head honcho. We can show you had a job. Can you show you didn't not use illegal drugs? If you cannot, doesn't matter. If you violated, possibility of being sent back to prison is supposed to be help make you make better choices. Thank you, Goldmare. I appreciate it. Wish that I was as strong as you. I'm weak. Okay. Well, if she doesn't even give you the time of day, you don't got nothing for a little boy. Like in Puerto Rico, we saw this thing. What? What do you guys think? She'll pick up at the airport. Okay. If you cannot show you did not violate drug using, all you can do is be honest with the judge. Ask for mercy of the court. Pray. Golden Mare. The, wait till James puts out. Wait till James puts out the violation and really look at some of those things. See, some look at short times. Golden Mare stop even talking about time. Addicts con themselves more than they do others. I believe that. I believe you. That's because I tell myself all the time, I'm not going to use. And let me tell you something else. Listen to Jelly Roll. Listen to Jelly Roll. Just listen to Jelly Roll. He'll talk that he says the same thing. The Lord does not leave you. Well, even if you're an addict, he was always there for you. So Golden Mare, Jesus loves junkies for sure. I might drink a walk also. It's easy to criticize somebody when you haven't been in their shoes. How do you say your name? Joran? Thank you. I love Dr. Pepper. There's an AW. Man, I'm drinking this bullshit. So I'm trying to drink V8, but I guess I got the one that doesn't have salt. I'm still going to power through this. I have a substance abuse problem off and on for years, and have always thought it is a mental health issue, not a criminal issue. Not if you're on supervised release. And when you know what they told us when we went to Harbor House? 1 out of 30 of you guys will make it. 2 of you will die in 90 days. And then they told me I had at least 2 to 3 relapses in me. Swear to God, with cream soda. I love cream soda, by the way. Mixed it. No, I haven't. I bought something like that. Can't be fly. I had those. So everyone, Okay, it's definitely not easy to go up there and read all these comments. We do have to respect him for that. It's okay. I bet Joey doesn't make the same mistakes Rob. No, Joey likes. Joey will never do that. He's a really, really good grounded guy. Anthony Centers one being out. He's in a halfway house. Really, he's already there. Good for him. I'm very disappointed in Joey and Snuff. Why in Snuff? What did Snuff do? Many things that benefits too much start good things. They pulled a bait and switch. I live in a cartoon. I live in a cartoon. John Wolf. I bet the federal government will set up several piggy bank accounts in order to subscribe to Joey and learn more. Joey and Snuffy went to Hollywood on us. Joey, my father had bladder cancer, has penetrated bladder. Oh shit, I just lost the comment. How did I do that? There it is. Okay, I'm struggling myself now to suicidal. I'm being addicted and trying. I'm tired, but hang in there. Thank you. And I want to say about the suicide thing, don't, easy. Take it easy. My father had bladder. Has it penetrated your bladder or is it still containable? Cleveland, you know, the last one went and touched my bladder wall. That was the first time. And that's what the doctor is afraid of now. And they actually want me to do 8 weeks of chemo. They're going to give me my first chemo treatment the day of, but it's all right. Because it gives insight how advanced the cancer is. Yes, that does. Hang in there, Rob. I'm struggling myself nowadays. It's Joran. Thanks for the comment and hang in there too. Like I said, my father had it, so I'm familiar with it. You know what you're talking about. So mine was all superficial until the last time. Hey, Rob, nice to see you. Thank you, Zip. CBD oil goes up not to give it back to prison. I don't. What the fuck do you care? 100%. Cleveland becomes because I'm a huge fan. Wait. 100%. That's why I asked the truth. I'm on 800 milligrams of morphine. Okay. 800 milligrams of morphine. 800 right now. Okay. Well, coming off that. Thank you. My father beat it. So Cleveland, this is number 24, the reoccurrence. Henry D. Okay, thank you. He got smashed. Cleveland, 3 of us were different. 3 of us did surgery. I've been praying for you, kid. Zip. Thank you, Cleveland. That's what surgery. Too high a risk to death the first year. Damn cancer, the motherfucker. I remember watching my father go through chemo. My point is that it's beatable. Yeah. Yeah, bladder cancer is for sure. Uh, dude, get on a plane and come to Europe. Fresh new start. Wow, Mickey Mouse. So, uh, my wife was just saying something about that. I was supposed to. I thought I'd be off supervised release in 18 months because I thought I'd go through it, and then shit fell apart. That's the truth. Oh shit, I'm getting tired. I've done meth in the 70s, still did zip. Um, if you did it in the 70s, it's totally different. That was real. You're wrong, Rob. Never let the motherfucking prison system win, Rob. You've been almost 30 years in prison. You're a survivor. I hear you. I took an Adderall once and it made my eye numb. Welcome back, Rob, to the siege. Travis Dury. Even breast cancer, throat cancer, and colon cancer. 6 years old. John, what are you? God bless. Surprisingly, a cure for more than 40 years. Cancer cure cover up. Mental has to reset itself with addiction. And what you want to feature underlying issue must be addressed or nothing changes. Golden, you're spot on. And I did do a deep dive on issues, and I know that the problem, I think, because I'm trying to look at the triggers of the events: financial, job, and financial job, and the hell, what else am I trying to say? Um, a relationship, yeah, relationship. But anyway, okay, we're trying to figure this proctor out. So James wrote me a good letter last time for my judge. I didn't ask him to, never knew he was going to write it, but it was actually a really, really good letter. I don't think it had much. Who knows? He did a good favor. Thank you, Edwin. So, but James is also a YouTuber, content creator, and he needs, and I don't say that in a mean way. Amber Alert, fucking goof troop. Probation is easier to get help from the court, but parole violations, okay. I live in a rural small area with big drug addiction issues. Violation of probation is easier to get help from the court, but parole violations, they are not. So supervised release from the feds is like parole on steroids, state parole on steroids. But listen, they're not trying to just send people back. It's not, they're not. Even my PO, the judge, they're not. It depends on your criminal background. It depends on a lot of different factors. And my judge is very tolerant. And I have no idea what he's going to do, but I read what he said. My probation officer gave me more help than my lawyer did. My lawyer was his clerk for so many years. So it's I've done this video now, so whatever, you know. Hey Rob, I'm happy you're in less time on this, dealing with those. Roy, thank you. Uh, right. Well, that's awesome that your daughter got 17 years clean. Jelly Raw, he tells it. Um, First time, the truth. My husband was an addict. He relapsed for years. We were separated. He came home to make amends, then died. He had not attended to his health. So I have put off health issues, not my bladder. There's a misunderstanding out there by a few people that I have missed bladder cancer points. Never. I have missed knee and cardiology. Cardiology said something, and actually liver. Exactly what happened with my. Oh, I see. I see, Cleveland. Um, Cardiology. They like said something about me drinking. This is like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I just okay. So I dealt with it. Stupid. Well, man, thank you for sharing this. By the way, with that, Steve. What's up? Turning in late. You know, I'm always pulling for you, bro. OG Mike, I'm going back. I hate MRA because he got the girl, Guardian of the Night. So, Jordan, other people got mad at me for saying junkie loser. So the word junkie actually was picked up on an algorithm. So I don't know much about computers. When I used the term back in 2008, when I had a website, I wrote something called junkie loser. And, and I don't mind saying that. Like, I don't mind for it. It's just, yeah. So, but loser, yeah. I can't not really say that about me right now. I'm not talking about these dirties I'm facing, this violation. I'm talking about just everything Albert was selling rose close. I'm talking about Cleveland. Thank you. Lawyers talk, lawyer talk. Rob, do you know what's up? You got to do whatever the judge gives you, hope for the best. Uh, yeah. So here. Look, it's a new hearing, but in my mind, it's just a continuation from the last one. This isn't about, again, this isn't about my judge that they've been tolerant. They have to follow the law. The law. Well, they have a flexibility, but they have to go by what they're given. Congress still believes, still on the books, that for dirties there's mandatory revocation hearing, blah blah blah. Yeah. So I I thought I was going to have time to get cancer in the house because I can get the house situation. I don't. That's more of of course. Look, I said this. I said I don't mind incarceration. So prison's easy, okay? So the thought of prison being a deterrent for me in any kind, it's not. It's thinking about the loved ones that could pass away. It's thinking about the aftermath of getting out. That's the truth, and that's not cool. I'm not normal for saying that, but I'm not gonna lie and say that it's anything otherwise. I know people, I know guys who get out of prison and go do bad things, so then go right back. They had nothing on the street. That's not like me. I had, uh, family that wasn't rich but wasn't poor. I had, well, I do have. I mean, so I've isolated myself because I'm probably some kind of shame or embarrassed. I don't want to go into all that, but yeah. So I've been bad at relationships and it's gotten worse. Um, I'm not necessarily talking about my marriage. I'm talking about personal relationships. So for sure, look, those years in prison, all those times, I never knew how bad it fucked me up. And I know people that get out and they're doing just fine. Most of those people don't have addiction issues, okay? And I know some that have addiction issues that got off supervised release, and now they're falling apart. So they were able to manage their supervised release and get off. Um, yeah. So look, everybody's different. I've been given a lot of chances in my life. It's true. So many. I've blown opportunities and had chances that people would only dream. That's God's honest truth. So maybe I deserve to go back to prison and get a bunch of time just for being a fuck up. I mean, so maybe the stars are aligned that way. Maybe I don't know. I don't know, but um, it's happening, and yeah, it is. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to prison. I mean, what am I going to do? You know, friends a long time. Prison came from struggle, but so far staying out back on the others, I see fall back in old patterns, back to prison. Okay, let me read this again. Goldman's actually saying some really good stuff. You're an inspiration, Cleveland. Nadu will buy Joey Merlino. Oh God, I heard. I 2 nights ago, and it was a 2-day old show. I heard Amber Alert on the other Gotti, Victoria's sister show, and they were like crying about Nadu. Nadu did this, and they're man. I swear to God, it's like I haven't watched in more than a year. Only for a second. It's the same exact shit, but they're picking up subs. I'll give them that, and picking up views. So maybe the other Gotti will finally make some money like the rest of her family. I'm not sure because I know she was in a modest area. But they're definitely institutionalized. Fuck yeah. Steve Marone, he has a marble all over. Imagine saying that you have marble from Roy DeMeo's house. Uh, yes, God gave you free will. You just got to do all you can for yourself. So Kingdom, church was like going back to church was like a drug to me, but it didn't solve certain issues that I think the bricks in this driveway are from Manhattan. I don't know. I don't know. But I'll as I think more, as I figure it out, we'll see. What John will find Pleasant property, Albert wrote about. Okay, listen, guys, I've been on here a long time. 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I have a night shift job. That's why I haven't worked. I didn't work last night or tonight. So why why am I not? The TV changed, I guess. I didn't know that. How did I get off that? Coming. I'm sorry. Wow. Oh no, here it is. Okay. All right, guys. So I gotta go. Thank you. And you'll hear from me shortly. Okay. I appreciate the bad stuff, the good stuff. I'm just writing what's going on. Take care. Bye.